Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Welcome back to the show. We are joined live today by Lynda Griffin, our owner and interior designer at Creative Interior Designs by Lynda. And it's Lynda with a Y, Lynda.
Yes.
And that's CID by Lynda, LYNDA.com. That's her website. Welcome back to the show today. How are you?
Thank you. I am fine. How are you? Thanks for having me back.
I'm doing great. It's a pleasure to see your beautiful face, beautiful energy, and to talk about amazing, beautiful work that you do. My goal one day is to hire an interior designer to do my home, but I'm kind of waiting for my kids to grow up and get out because everyone says, you're going to waste your time and your money. And I said, I know the scuffs on the walls and the moldings already, and it's only been 8 years.
Oh my goodness.
So I'm excited for your work, and I wish in another life and maybe I will come back as an interior designer, but it's exciting what you do. Could you share it to new timers out there? Thank you.
Yes. Well, we do hear that quite often about the transition from being a parent and having kids and what does the house look like with children. Now, we must admit that kids are just being what? Kids. And we'd like to have those spaces look like these magazines and designer homes and places like that. But the truth of the matter is really that we live in our homes. And so, Creative Interior Designs is a full service interior design firm. What that means to our listeners and everyone here in our great state of Maryland is that we're able to provide a number of services for your project, whether it's lighting, flooring, plumbing, obviously remodeling and renovating, which we're going to talk about today a little bit in detail as people start to prepare for those wonderful spring renovation projects. And so what we are able to do is come out and transform your space to something amazing, but yet functional. How about that?
Absolutely. Thank you. And by the way, I mentioned the website already, CID by Lynda. How else can we reach you?
You can reach me at 301-298-9090. That is our office directly. Or again, you may contact us on the website at cidbylynda.com. Also, if you Google us, if you Google Lynda Griffin, if you Google Creative Interior Designs by Lynda, you'll see a number of ways in which to reach us. To come out, to take a consultation with you. It's called a discovery call. So if you get that, it is called a discovery call, in which we're able to communicate with you about your project and then come and take a peep, see at what's going on.
Okay, thank you. We appreciate it. And by the way, you're based out of Maryland, right? But you're working
Prince George's County, Maryland.
Perfect. But you work with clients everywhere.
Absolutely. Which is great that we're able to do with that. We have a great team, and we can pretty much contact you, whether it's by renderings and showing some great designs, or actually physically being with you and going over storyboards or mood boards. And again, renderings to show you what that project's going to look like, which again is everyone's favorite. But there's some details that go along with that. But as we talk about renovations today, it's really getting into the when and the how and the cost of renovating. I think that's kind of hopefully we perk some ears up, Jill, when we start talking about renovating. So with that, pretty much we can just go in and start talking about when to call us. So renovations generally start when you see that there's something you want to modify and change in the home. With everyone being home, these past years, oh my goodness, we saw an amazing increase in home improvement projects, like you would believe, indoors and outdoors, right? And so people started to see deficiencies in their homes and how they were using them. And then they would call us as a design firm to come in and make those modifications. So the win part of that is when you see that there's a need in your house and you say, I think I'd like a new kitchen. This kitchen isn't functioning well for me. Or I really would like to see another color, but I'm a little too afraid to choose colors in this space. Or it is, I'm not really sure, but I know something's missing and I'd like to add it, but I'm not sure what the cost is going to be. That's when you start calling us as a design firm to come out, take a look at your project. We're going to assess along with you in the space, what do you want to see if you know that? If you don't know,
Mhm.
then we really are trying to help you determine what is it that you want to do in the space. Well, we know, Jill, kitchens are for cooking and gathering and eating. We know that, right? But what
That's
is
so
more
true.
that you want to see? Do you want pull-out drawers, and do you want soft close drawers? Do you want racks that you can put in your cooking pans, and the organizational methods to your kitchen? That's really where we're going now. So that's the win. That's the
Perfect.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. So then our next is what? Our next is how. How. So we talk about when to call us, then how to call us, how to know to renovate your home. How is it that you know it? And again, those things are going to constantly be reminders of you as to how your space is functioning or how it's dysfunctional. So if you see that your space is dysfunctional, if you see that there's something out of alignment, if you see that you want to explore new colors, you want a refresher, then that's when you know that this would be a renovation project. And then those details really become a little bit more entail with taking out cabinets, putting in new
Yep.
cabinets.
Mhm.
Ah, the
I
dust
know.
game. It's the dust game.
Yeah, 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 exactly. It so is.
So with that, we talk about with coming in and being able to have our contractors come in. I always say we just tear out to pretty up, because it's really the ugly before the beauty, right? It's the things that we come in to actually do in the renovation, whether it's changing out your floors, adding more electrical outlets or switches, or beautiful recess lighting. Those are those things of the how. But then also too, before we get to cost, we really have to determine all of the aspects to your interior design project before we can come up with a number, because everybody's number is different. Literally every project we have ever had, there's never been one identical cost
Mhm.
associated, right? Because everybody's kitchens and family rooms and spaces are all different, right? So I'm sure you have a space as well, Jill, that you said, hey, look, I really would like to do this, but I'm not even sure. I don't even want to tackle that, right?
Yep.
Which is what everybody says. They don't know
Mhm.
how to tackle it. Like, how do I
Yes.
tackle this? What do I do? I have a client now that says, Lynda, I think I'm going to have to live on my second floor while you all renovate the entire first floor. And so, I've got to make sure that that space is organized enough for me to live in it, because that means everything that I have here is either going to our basement or it's going to the second level. And I feel so overwhelmed. I feel cluttered. And I said, well, you know what? It's only for a short period of time. And we have a schedule that we roll out to you to let you know of everything that we're doing along the way, everything that we're going to
Mhm.
do with the scheduling, so you know what's going on and how you need to move through it. Yeah, we
Uh-huh.
want to make sure everybody's comfortable and that you're not suffering in dust. That's
Yeah.
what
Mhm.
the renovation is. It really is. So, if anyone has those thoughts or questions really about their project, or, how to be sure to get the right designer, or when should I start if I have a new project that's coming. We had another client that recently said that she was going to be moving,
Mhm.
and she wanted to design the space, but she said, Lynda, but if I move, she says, I don't want to go in and spend the money on the existing space. I want to spend the money on the new space. And how soon should I start that process? And I said, again, start it
Yep.
anywhere from 60 to 90 days out when you are thinking about your renovation project. It
Mhm.
does take time for orders, and it takes time for us to go through the design with respect to your floor plans and models and renderings. Okay.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
those are two big keys. Two big keys. So question, thoughts?
No, I'm saying
Any
2 big
comments?
key. I'm
Okay.
giving a
Yeah.
thumbs up. I'm
See,
saying,
like this, like
wait,
Linda.
what? I'm like CID by Linda. Uh-huh, uh-huh. Creative interior designs. Just reminding them, Linda with a Y.
There
Continue,
you
girl.
go. There
We're
you
good.
go.
We're good.
I know. So, because this is all really good content that we know that everyone
Yep.
has, it really is
It's
consistent. I
so
don't think
true.
there's any designer that in my industry that we can talk and not know that these are very much keys for us, as we look into your project. But then the biggest one of them all, which is always associated with
Yes.
MONEY, the cost,
Yeah.
it is, how much is this going to cost me? Because I don't think I can afford it. Well, you really won't know until you call us, right? So
True.
you really
True.
don't
Don't make
know. You really don't.
assumptions.
There you go. Don't make that assumption that you cannot, because this day you
It's
can. I usually tell people this, and my clients and my team, my design team has probably heard me say this one thing. And if
you're
listeners
like,
hear this,
wait.
they may remember it. Remember that the man makes everything. The man makes everything.
Okay. Okay.
Now, man being short for manufacturer.
Oh, got it. I'm like, the man. I'm like, okay, yes.
Yes. See, you're thinking about physical. No, the
Yes.
man makes everything. The manufacturer makes everything. And
Got
for
it.
all budgets. So you are able to get a really beautiful design on the basis of your budget, and no budget is going to be alike. Now, what we do want you to know is
Mm-hmm.
that, yeah, if you need financing, obviously we're available for that aspect. If you have funding already, or your funding sources already, whether it's home improvement loans, whether it's home improvement funds that you set aside, those things, and then we start to operate within that budget, because everybody's budget is going to be different. And I am very clear with clients, not to send you down a rabbit hole thinking that, hey, I have money and I can get everything in this budget. No, you cannot. Let's just be honest. So it is that there are things that you can get, and there are things that you can do within your budget. And then you go to another project. I say, take it in phases. Phase one might be the living room. Phase two might be your kitchen. Phase three,
Mm-hmm.
take those in phases so that you can put your monies together, and your dollar will literally do everything you need it to do in that one project. Don't
Mm-hmm.
stretch it all to from 3 rooms. So Jill, I'm not coming to the house. I'm not doing your bathroom, your kitchen, and your
Mm-hmm.
living room. And you say, well, Lynda, well, I have money for this, but I don't have money for that. And I'll say, no, Jill, we can't do that. We can't do it. One room
Yeah.
at a time. One room at a time. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So if there are costs, if there are things that people have or questions that they have really about design, you really can call and ask us. We're pretty much open to answer whatever thoughts that you have about interior design, because it
Mm-hmm.
still is um, a question of what do people think when they look at the magazines, when they watch, some of the design shows on some of the major networks, and when they see it in magazines itself. There are lots of publications out there, talk shows and things that talk about, the newest design trends and things of that nature. But you can call us at 301-298-9090 and make an appointment with us, and so that we can talk about the design project with you. We'd love to hear from you and work on your project. We're working on quite a few projects now that take us off site, from commercial and residential. And so commercial is a whole nother aspect, but the renovation is coming up. We can officially kick off renovation month starting the end of February, as we roll into the spring, or start approaching the spring months, where people do what? Spring clean. That's kind of how we said it. What decades? Spring cleaning, spring cleaning. So when you get into spring cleaning,
Ah.
yeah, look into renovating. And then your renovations and things can be done before the summer, and that way you can get a chance to go and enjoy the summer without bringing in renovations. But we do them all year long, no matter what the time or the day. We just have to deal with snow and the cold weather when we're dealing with December and January interior design. So, but those are the biggest things. The when to call us, the how to call us has already been identified, obviously, by phone
Yeah.
number 301 298 9090, or through our website, which is www.cidbylynda with the y.com. Or you can Google us and find us anywhere, pretty much out there on any social media, Facebook, Instagram. You can always contact us through those avenues, or through our design base, which is Houzz, Houzz. And you can find us on Houzz by looking up Lynda Griffin. And you'll see us if we're in your area, in Maryland or Virginia or Washington, D.C., which we're very closely to DC. But yeah, so how, when, and cost
Got it.
associated with renovating. Yeah, a lot of information, isn't
That
it?
is, no, but it's good to have a plan. Yes, you need to. I like the fact we could break it up in stages because
Absolutely.
that helps. People say, well, you might save money by doing it all together. Yes and no? Your take on
Correct.
that?
Correct. So,
Hmm.
realistically, no, because when we come out to actually look at your space, we tell people, please let us know what are your future projects. I love to see your future projects because your future projects tell us a little
Hmm.
bit more about how we
Yep.
can bring those 3 or 2 rooms together, but also to the budget. So
Yep.
if you said, hey, Lynda, I have a budget, can I get this room as well? I'm either going to tell you yes or no, depending on what you're looking to change or renovate in that design, in that other design space. So
Yep.
it is, you could possibly get them both done,
Yep.
right? For your budget. You just don't know until you call us. But I often heard people say, well, I wasn't sure I could have ever afforded an interior design. And I said, well, everyone can pretty much uh, have an interior designer come into their project or come into their home and talk about design. And you can do that. Yes. Depending on your budget, sure, that always is the dictator for
Hmm.
anybody, right? As to
Yep.
what they can do. But sometimes it doesn't have to be tearing down walls. It can just be changing textiles, changing draperies and hardware and bed linens, making sure we put paint on the walls, which helps to make what a beautiful transition, something refreshing for you. It could be changing knobs on your dresser. It could be
Yep.
changing maybe the flooring in there and putting down an area. It could be those subtle changes. It doesn't have to be a major renovation
Yep.
where, we're tearing up walls and floors.
Got it.
Right? Hmm.
Hmm.
Hmm. So that's that process. And
Well,
again, everybody can do it.
I love it. Now, hold on. But you, as an interior designer, hold on. Do you get bored and sick of your own space, or you're like, or you're just so busy and overwhelmed changing other people's space? That's okay. It solves your crave of changing things. How does it work to be an interior designer in your own home
That's
or
a good one,
homes?
Jill.
Do you need multiple homes because you like doing things differently?
I like that though, Jill. That was really good. You said because we get a chance to decorate, everybody else is kind of does it settle for us to not have to worry about changing our own.
Mhm.
That is so, I never really thought about it that way because maybe that is the case, but also we're so busy in transitioning everyone else's that there are times we generally, now I know for me, I'm pretty settled, as a designer in the things that I've designed in my own home. But I design like that for my clients too, because I don't want them to have to change a design, every 2 and 3 years. You're like, oh my gosh, I had Lynda come in. Lynda, I'm ready to change this. It's 2 years in. I'm getting bored now. No, we want you to enjoy the ride for at least the trend. Trends run anywhere between 7 to 10 years.
Mhm.
So we're talking almost a decade of you living with, let's say, black or blue walls. Now, that's a good trend. You might have had your time with it, and you may be ready. But yeah, we generally have so much going on offsite and designing and decorating everyone else's homes that we really don't get a chance to sit and look at our spaces to say, oh, I'd like to change that. Because once we've changed it, it satisfies the same trend that we decorate and design for our own clients. So we don't
Yeah.
have to, really worry about, I think I want to change a chair. But you and I both know, Jill, as women, we like to shop too.
Yeah, of course we do.
Give us a reason. Oh, give me a reason. But that would work if I just needed to go to a local store and retailer and find some nice chairs. I'm sure I could find a place for it. But yeah, so when our clients talk about that, when they call us after 10 years, and they call us and they say, hey, Lynda, we have a huge number of, I'll say a number of people that have huge projects in the past that now we're beyond our 10-year marker that have called us, and we've worked. I remember someone about maybe 5 to 7 years, and they were like, Lynda, I know you just came, but I want to now add on to something else that you did. You did a bathroom for us in our master bedroom. So we're looking to, do something in the family room now. So we have a number of our clients that call us back as repeat, and we love that, and we're so thankful for them. But yeah, we just keep going until whenever. And remember, the man makes everything. So there's a number of things you haven't even seen yet.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, tell us.
Yeah, right, exactly. So there's, from manufacturers, from all of the latest design trends and furnishings and color, accessories. There's so many things, Jill, that are out there. We get the pleasure of being a part of a design world that we get to see things kind of firsthand, right? Before it's out in the public, sometimes through our design market centers that we have in Las Vegas and California and Paris and Atlanta and Houston, Texas. There's a number of design marts that we get to attend to be prepared for our clients who call us. That is, we get to look at all the items and new lighting systems, new linens, new flooring. Again, the new color trend just came out by Sherwin-Williams, which is one of our wonderful, I won't say sponsors, but the ones that we use for our projects. Benjamin Moore and Sherwin-Williams are pretty powerhouse, and so with color. And so we use them for a lot of our paint projects, and they do very well, perform very well. The colors and the color palettes that they have created for even 2024, some places have exposed, but we may not see them in the public till somewhere around spring. And so you'll say, oh, this is the new color trend. Well, the color trend really came out in 2023 towards the end, but it's not launched into the public in a bigger way until usually springtime. But that's strategic with respect to, again, all of the remodeling projects that generally have to go on, right? So, but we can talk, design and things for days. And obviously it's our tea all day long, but we really do want clients to give us a call so we can talk to them directly. And then we can talk more about what their needs are, because that's really what we need to hear is what are their needs for the project so that we can try to work that out and provide you with the vision that you really want. Right. So that's really that's really it at the end of the day. So if you have a beautiful bedroom that you're interested in, you can have that bedroom. It doesn't mean that it's only for the magazine. Now, remember, we stage things too. So we stage things in the magazine. Yeah. But ultimately, the room is designed for that. But we generally, we try to set things up so that you can see this beautiful image up front. And obviously, it is somebody's work. And so we have had a number of publications of our own. I've got some things in my backdrop from Home and Design Magazine and Bethesda Magazines, some of our publications that we've been in. And so we get to highlight our projects. So it's been wonderful. Yep.
And where can we see some of these projects in your portfolio? Remind us before we go.
In the portfolio, you can go to the website. That's CIDbylynda.com. You can go onto Houzz, Houzz. You can Google Creative Interior Designs by Lynda. You'll see some of our work out there as well. Our Facebook is Creative Interior Designs by Lynda. Instagram is CID by Lynda. Anywhere where you literally type in Creative Interior Designs by Lynda or CIDbylynda.com, you will see all of our work that's out there. We have work that we haven't even had posted yet. So we've got quite a bit of projects for our viewers and listeners to go in and check out.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Well, we appreciate your time here. Excited to talk to you about your design work. And remind us one more time, CID by Lynda, LYNDA. And how do we find you on social media?
Social media would be Facebook, CID by Lynda. Instagram, it would be Lynda Griffin or Creative Interior Designs by Lynda. So if you just go in and type in CIDbylynda.com, That will go, of course, and take you to the website, but you guys can see us there. Just Google Lynda Griffin. And so all of that information will come out, and you can kind of peruse through some of our work and see what we're capable of. And so we appreciate this time, Ms. Jill. I thank you as always.
Oh, thank you so much. Pleasure having you here. Looking forward to the next time we connect. You have a great day, okay?
You too.
Thanks so
again.
much. Appreciate you.
Have a good one.
I can't wait to redo my whole house. You inspire me.
I'm coming, Jill. I'm coming.
Yeah, you're not that far. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
Mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house. And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.